Hey guys, what's up? This is Aaron Daybreak, and today we're going to be doing a Yasuo god, another Yasuo god. This is for the newest patch out as of 1/18/2020. Um, this is going to be my personal build, what I think is really good, what I think is not so good. So let's get right into it. This is going to be the rune page, Conquer, Triumph, Bloodline, Coup de Grace, and then take Sudden Impact, Ravenous Hunter from the Domination tree. There is, for this, obviously, if you're up against a mage, Xerath, or something like that, or a Kali, you're going to want to take Magic Resist, or even like Cat, Magic Resist. I've seen them picked a few times, but normally, a lot of times you'll run armor. Just depends. That's why it's called flex. For the offense, take 10% attack speed. And Ravenous Hunter for the Q healing, sudden impact for your E, and then Triumph for just the health regen, bloodline, all that. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, for your summoners, you'll always be running flash, but now you can also run exhaust over ignite if you're in a assassin matchup. A lot of assassin matchups, you're trying to survive, and what I mean by that is like Zed. Zed is definitely number one. Take exhaust every time. You will regret it and you'll wish you did, because that matchup is it's very much like the first person that gets a lead at all can snowball it instantly. Like the other player doesn't even have to be good. He'll snowball it, game over. Lane over rather. Now, Riven, same way. If they counterpick you with Riven or Zed or Renekton, there's a bunch. Even a Kali, I think it's pretty dang good into, and you won't go wrong. I mean, even taking exhaust normally is super duper good just for late game because it scales so much better than ignite, in my opinion. So let's get into this build. Now let me see how I add gold here. Add gold. Okay. All right, and we're gonna give ourselves an enemy dummy right here and right here, and sure, why not another one right up here. And we'll also do level up, and I'll show you exactly what the build is. Okay, so first off, you're going to want to start by going Berserker's Greaves. Now you're going to go Greaves unless there's super AD heavy team and you need the tabbies, or you back and you're in an AD matchup and you don't necessarily have enough gold to buy Greaves right off. A lot of times you'll back with 1100 gold, you'll buy Greaves a couple pots, go back to lane and get Zeal. Now sometimes you won't, and so if you're backing with that 1100 gold against the AD matchup, it usually means that it's going to be a rough one for you. So you're going to take boots and then do cloth armor together, and then come back and combine them whenever you can. So it's going to give you extra survivability, and the passive on Ninja Tabby is just crazy. Always has been, I think it always will be. At this point in the game, I think it always will be. Now, for the second item you're going to be buying a Zeal, and here's where the build can split. So, Phantom Dancer is going to give you a shield. So if you're playing in a matchup where you need, here, let me if you're playing a matchup where you need that shield because like a burst, like perhaps like Diana or Zed, and Zed's not played a lot, but I'm just using him as an example because he has like very basic kit like other assassins have as well. A Kali, stuff like that. Especially if you don't necessarily win the matchup, if you don't get a couple kills, 1 to 2 kills in your lane, and you have that risk of being solo killed by them, it's really safe to go Phantom Dancer, and it's going to be pretty good all game. It's just going to give you, it doesn't give you as much attack speed as Shiv, but it's going to give you that shield that's going to help you survive a little bit longer, depending what the case is. So this is really good if you need extra survivability. Now, my personal favorite is going to be Static Shiv, because with these two combined, you have like 75% extra attack speed, which is bananas. So once you get these two together, you have a really, really big power spike. And I mean, this is your power spike, either one of these, either Phantom Dancer or Static Shiv. Once you complete that and your Greaves or Ninja Tabby, that is a little power spike. It's a smaller power spike with Tabby, but it's even bigger with Greaves because you have more attack speed. But my favorite is Static Shiv, and I usually go this regardless, but like I said, there is some instances where you will need to go Phantom Dancer over Shiv, just because of the survivability. Now, this is obviously the second item you're going to be buying is going to be Infinity Edge. Duh. And you usually want to start out by getting the Cloak of Agility first. Honestly, kind of even over BF Sword a lot of times. The reason being is that whenever you have just Static Shiv and Greaves and Adorns or whatever, you're gonna have 50% crit. And so let me show you on this. Spawn enemy dummy right here. Okay. So right now, that's 110 a crit. 120, something like that, about 110. So we buy this. Go back, don't I? Whoops. 146. So we get a little bit of increase, but not, nothing too bananas. Now though, see the thing here is that whenever you buy this, you're getting that 50% chance. So one's 80, one's 150, one's 80, one's 160. And well, the damage is going up because of my runes and shit, but you get the ideal. One is going to be the crit, that is for 148, 150 damage pretty much, and then the other one's going to be for 80 or 70. So it's kind of, you get a little bit more damage on that one auto, but you can have the consistent 110 every time. I like the consistency more over anything else, so that's what I usually go. So usually Cloak of Agility right after Shiv or Phantom Dancer. Then go ahead and build your IE. Once your IE is done, this is where I always build Blade of the Ruin King. Now you can go, Bloodthirster if you want to, or Wit's End. Wit's End is pretty good against AP, and the fact that it lets you heal some off of the passive from it whenever you're like, I think 33% health, would synergize pretty well with Phantom Dancer. But I think that Blade of the Ruin King has probably been my go-to forever now, honestly. The third main item, third damage item, being Blade of the Ruin King, is very good because, well, number one, extra attack speed. And this build is going to give you like 27, almost 30% lifesteal, just from runes and items. So you're getting more attack speed, more attack damage, and lifesteal. You have a slow, which is like a speed up thing too. It speeds you up, slows them, because it steals their movement speed. And you get the passive of dealing 8% of the target's current health as bonus physical damage on hit. This applies with your Q, and it applies, obviously with your auto attacks. But those tanks that really in the mid game, where the mid to late, because at this point you're getting into that late game phase, you're getting right through, like, to the end of the mid game is kind of the wording I'm wanting to use here, and you're going to be really struggling against these tanks. I mean, you're not going to be like struggling against them like they're unkillable, but with Blade of the Ruin King, you're going to be killing them a lot quicker, and you're going to have that lifesteal to, lifesteal back up, and you're going to have, a way to engage and disengage in a 1v1 fight, or even like a 2v2 fight, because of the active, you have a slow and a movement speed bonus, which is also very, very nice. Third though, I would go either one of two items, or fourth rather, sorry. The fourth item, the fourth main damage item, would probably be either Bloodthirster or Frozen Mallet, if you need the health, you need the survivability, go Frozen Mallet. If you're just, you know, snowballing or you don't really need it, there's no super duper burst on the team, or if you're not having trouble staying on to enemies, grab the Bloodthirster. The Frozen Mallet is honestly one of the best fourth damage items you can pick up. Reason being is that it gives you an ungodly amount of health. It gives you a little bit of attack damage, but you know, it's not anything, you know, out of the ordinary. It's not like crazy. It's only 30. But you get the 700 health, which is going to be tremendous for survivability for number one, and you know, number two is going to make you more tankier, which is the survivability thing. So that's really the only thing that it's going to give you is more survivability. But now the unique passive, 40% slow on every melee attack. For 1.5 seconds, you have 40% slow on anybody you hit. That's crazy. Like, if you hit somebody with this, they're not getting away from you. Like, with your movement speed, with your Blade of the Ruined King, all that, they're not getting away. In a 1v1 fight, they are not getting away, unless it's like Master Yi, he hits R and he's not, you know, able to be slowed. They're not getting away from you. No ADC, nobody is getting away from you. Even with Flash, like, I can tell you, like, I can think about 100 times, like right off the bat, that someone's flashed from me and I've autoed them right before the mallet be flash, and then I just walk up to them because it's so much of a slow. Think about it as like half of a wither. The max slow on a wither, so it's half that, which is, wither is like 80 or 90%. So it's a lot. It really, really is a lot. And whichever one you don't go here, so let's say like I went Bloodthirster. I think I walk back to the platform. Whoops. I would go Frozen Mallet next. Now, if you go Mallet, but you don't really need, you need like a GA, I would sub out the Bloodthirster, because you're gonna get extra survivability, and you know, your GA is gonna keep you alive with armor and all that, and the passive. Late game, if you really, really need it, you can swap out these boots for Tabby, because Tabby is probably gonna be better late game, but through the early mid game, Berserker Greaves is going to shine 100% more, in my opinion, unless those, you know, specific circumstances of like the AD, mid laner, all that, where you really, really do need it. Now, there is one other option to this build that I've seen some people do, and I've tried it a couple times with pretty good success. If you're going into like an AP mid lane and an AP jungler, sometimes people like to go, let me find it, Wit's End first. Like Greaves, Wit's End. And that's not a terrible build, because Wit's End does give you, against AP, it gives you a lot of survivability, and it gives you a lot of damage. So just use kind of, you know, your judgment call on that. But the also, so that's the build. That's it. Straight up, that's the build. Now your abilities are going to be leveled like this. So level 1, Q. Level 2, E. And level 3, take W. Level 4, take Q. 5, Q. Just max out your Q. Immediately max out Q. Once you can take your R, take your R. Obviously. I think it's like 6, 11, and 16 or something. I don't know what the hell it is. But regardless, max out your R whenever you can. That comes first over everything. Max out Q. This is going to give you the most damage. And then max out E. And then win them all. So, yeah, I think that this build is honestly, it's honestly bananas. And as long as you know you're playing right, you're not trying to go in 1v9, it's a very, very, very strong build. Like, it's classic Yasuo, like classic. I want to build this full, and I will show you the damage on it. 1 second. Let me find Blade of the Ruin King. And let's do a mallet. 32% lifesteal without any runes being activated. So no Bloodline Legend and no Ravenous Hunter. 32% lifesteal. 700 each auto. I want to do something real quickly. But yeah, guys, that is the build. I think that it's a super, I think it's super duper strong build. And I don't think that many things are going to be able to beat it. That being said, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you very much for watching. More League content coming soon, more gameplay, all that kind of stuff. But I did want to make this new updated Yasuo build guide and all that for you all. Thank you very much. See you next time.